So today we're going to talk about apostrophes, the upstairs comma. Everybody knows what apostrophes are, but a lot of times we get confused on how to use them. So this is a brief little lesson to try to get you back in check with your apostrophe usage so you're not just slinging them everywhere. So let's get started. Well, first of all, what is an apostrophe used for? An apostrophe is used to do two primary tasks. First of all, to show ownership or possession, like when you own something, like a car, for example. This car here belongs to Jen. It is Jen's car. We use the apostrophe there to show that the car, in fact, belongs to Jen. It goes behind her name, and we add an S to make it possessive. Another way that we use apostrophes is for contractions. So like when we have missing letters because we squeeze two words together, like for example here you have I and am. We put those together to create the contraction I'm. But we use the apostrophe there to indicate that there are letters missing there, the letter A, like you see right here. So that's another way that you can use an apostrophe. Apostrophes are not used to make things plural, as so many students want to do today. So we're going to talk about a couple of rules for using apostrophes correctly. Well, the first thing people a lot of times have trouble with is, well, okay, I need an apostrophe S, but does the apostrophe come before or after the S? Well, that depends if the S is in fact a part of the word or not. So you need to ask yourself, hey self, is S a part of the word? If it is, then it goes after the S. If the S is not part of the word, then it should come at the apostrophe should come at the end of the word, regardless of whether it has an S on it or not. So an example of this would be like with an apple. Let's say we have one apple here, like this one that's pictured. You have an apple, the apple has a core. It is the apple's core. Now notice because there's one apple, if I cover that up, the S is not part of the word because it's only one apple. The apple is singular. So we'd add the apostrophe and the S to show the ownership that the apple owns the core. Now, if we had multiple apples like down here, each of these apples has its own core. So we have many apples with a core. The apples have cores. So it is the apple's core. Now notice if we cover that up, we have the plural apples, which in fact applies to 3 apples. So we put the apostrophe at the end. So again, if the S is part of the word or not part of the word determines where your apostrophe is placed. So let's talk about owners that share items or have multiple items. So for example, let's say Bob and Jane each have a watch. We want to talk about Bob's and Jane's watches. There are 2 watches. Each watch has its own owner. Bob has his own watch. Jane has her own watch. So since each person owns their item individually, each of them gets their own apostrophe S. So we have Bob's watch. We have Jane's watch. We have Bob's and Jane's watches. 2 watches, 2 owners, 2 apostrophes. Make sense? So how about if people share an object? For example, like let's say we have one apple. Ann and Sam have to share the apple. It is Ann and Sam's apple. One apple, one object, we get one apostrophe. The apostrophe would go on the last person named. So here the apple belongs to Ann and Sam. It is Ann and Sam's apple. One apostrophe S added to the end of Sam's name to show that they both share ownership of the apple. One object, one apostrophe. Then last, the thing people really get confused about are the word terms its and its. We have its without an apostrophe, which means something belongs to it, like that evil scary clown. It has its face, its scary face. That is the possessive. So always associate its without the apostrophe as belonging to it, the scary clown. So it's with the apostrophe is short for it is. Think of that as taking the place of the I in it. That's why the apostrophe there, it shows the missing letters. Because that really is the more important function of an apostrophe, to show that there's missing letters. That kind of trumps the possession. So that's why here, no apostrophe belongs to it. It's with an apostrophe, it is. Always read it as it is if you see an apostrophe. So that summarizes our lesson here on apostrophes. And I hope that you have a better understanding now of how apostrophes work. So go ahead and fill out your handout on apostrophes, and we'll see how you mastered this lesson. See you later. Bye.